Classic Code gets the job done here early for Paul Tapper in the opener with Chris Nicholl aboard. Paul Tapper saddles up a very big team here today, Riley. He always has quite a large team and he's quite confident in some of his gallopers, and not too many people in the betting ranks wanted to know Classic Code, but with the price of some of his other runners throughout the day, it might be worth following along for sure.
Well, he's got some veterans that keep turning up and running good races, horses that have had upwards of even 100 starts, and he seems to be able to keep turning them out, and they seem to be able to keep performing and running very competitive races, Tessa. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the day pans out for him. I think he's got one in the last that can run a race, No More Dust, who I thought was really good last start, running second behind ZBD Springs, who looks a really nice mare for the region as well. So it could be a case of maybe there is a few more winners to come for Paul on this program a little bit later on this afternoon. But a very nice performance from Classic Code. I didn't realise that she's a full sister to Dainty Tess, so that's some remarkable lineage. But she is still a very lightly raced 5-year-old mare, so she's only had 8 starts in her career. And having a chat to Chris Nicholl post-race, he seems to think that she might just be a late bloomer in her racing career.
Would be very nice to go anywhere near close to Dainty Tess. She had an exceptional career, obviously, and only purchased for $8,000 in Classic Code too, so they've already returned that investment, and exciting times ahead for the team. We now look on to race number 2, Riley, the John Lugg 76th birthday maiden over the 1300 metres, and a very happy birthday to John Lugg. He had a runner in the first, now he gets to relax for the rest of the day. How do we see things playing out here in the second?
And just on that runner in the first, Poet and I Know It, he was only having his first race start today, and while he didn't finish in the money, I thought he ran a credible race given how that race transpired. I thought he's quite a large type. He's got plenty of scope about him, so I think he could be one to watch moving forward as well. So it might not have gone to plan for John today as he celebrates his 76th birthday, but Poet and I Know It may be a horse to follow moving forward off that first run.
Absolutely, a really nice type indeed in running. We saw how big and gangly those legs are, so once everything gets worked out, it's going to be a very nice campaign, no doubt. But runners have now entered the yard ahead of race number 2, so we'll dive straight into things. The one is A Whim Away, Brett Drury and claiming apprentice Natika Riordan.
He's run some really good races this campaign, A Whim Away, but he has been a horse that has had a few chances all the same. He didn't get a lot of luck last start. He ran 6 over the 1200 metres behind Carn Up Queen, and we saw that form hold up pretty well in race number 1. Classic Code ran second in that race and was able to put a win on the board. As we know, they opt for the 4-kilo claim here today of Natika Riordan to take a bit of weight off his back, but given he is a horse that is likely to get back in running, especially from where he's drawn, I thought it looked a pretty tricky steer for a 4-kilo apprentice.
The 2 is King of France, is very well travelled. Mount Magnet, Geraldton, York, Pinjarra, Ascot, and now Kalgoorlie. Brock Luthwaite and Chris Nicholl.
And he's going okay, King of France. He hasn't been disgraced in better races than what he meets here at Kalgoorlie today in his past couple. He was beaten 3 lengths by Caraway in a maiden over 1500 at Pinjarra. Was beaten 8 lengths by Fast Harry, who looks well and truly above average the last time we saw him at the races at Ascot. He's a horse that can roll forward. I'm expecting to see him lob in the first 2 or 3 in running, despite where he's drawn. Has had a few chances as well, similar to A Whim Away. Start number 24 for him today, and has only been able to finish in the money on 5 occasions, so that probably doesn't read up well for him here today. But I do like the fact that the senior jockey jumps back on board. Chris Nicholl's already on the board with a winner in race number 1, and they opt to carry the weight. I like that move.
The 3 is Bose Me Bubba, Paul Tapper, hoping for a race-to-race double here, and Ava Caterino claims.
Hard to make a claim for this galloper. Tess has been a career maiden, Bose Me Bubba, coming up for start number 29 today. Has only placed on 1 occasion, was beaten 10 lengths last start. We'll get a soft trip in running from barrier 1, but we'll struggle to challenge these.
The 4 is the current Tab Touch favourite, $1.70, now drifted out to $2.45. Sainty Cullity, Luke Fernie and Alicia Whittington.
I think he's the best horse in the race, Sainty Cullity, there's no doubt about that, but he doesn't make life easy for himself. It's fair to say he was luckless on debut in a 3-year-old Saturday race. His last 2 have been really good. He ran second at York. He was beaten as favourite on that occasion by Diesel and Dirt, who I'm not sure the strength of that form, but did run second again last start over the 1600 metres. A little bit going on here in the mounting yard in front of us, behind 5th Essence, who perhaps didn't frank that form during the week on Wednesday, but did step up in class, so you can't read too much into that. 1,600 metres back to 1,300 metres. That's going to be the interesting aspect of this race for him here this afternoon. And he's certainly not an easy horse to ride. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to seeing where Alicia Whittington can settle this horse in running today. I've just got a little nag in the back of my mind that he could give Alicia a pretty tough time of it this afternoon, and thought that he looked a little bit well enough found by the market as a result.
The 5 is Sign the Papers. First up today, Ryan Hill and Troy Turner.
Had a couple of trials prior to resuming here this afternoon. The trials have only been fair for mine and hasn't shown enough in 3 runs to date to be featuring here off what we've seen.
And the 6, who was causing a little bit of chaos in the mounting yard, but nothing too major, as Amy Jo got legged aboard, Queen of Chaos, and Paul Tapper trains.
She does a little bit wrong in her racing still, Queen of Chaos, despite being a maiden who has done plenty of racing. She's been well beaten in her last 2 starts. She just didn't step last start. She was really slow out of the gates. If she was to begin this time around, she can certainly utilise that good draw in barrier 3 for Amy Jo Hayes, but even if she does step and is able to hold a position here this afternoon, she'd still need to improve.
The 7 is I Can Do It On My Own, hoping to go one better today. Brett Drury and Zephyr Johnson-Porter replaces Alex Hearn.
I like the setup for her here this afternoon, Tessa. I thought she toughed it out really well last start. She ran second over the 1,400 metres, sustained a really strong gallop after making an early move there under Alex Hearn, was overrun late by our Shillelagh, who looks a progressive enough type for SJ Miller. Back to 1,300 metres here this afternoon. I thought Zephyr Johnson-Porter could kick through to lead from that low draw. I think she can give a sight if she can hold the top.
The 8 is Quick Cookie, second up today. Ryan Hill, second galloper here in this field. Victoria Corver rides.
3-year-old filly has been freshened up. We haven't seen her at the races for a month. She was beaten a big margin at Albany last start, but the winner through that race, Puro, has subsequently won again and looks well and truly above average. And the second horse, the winner since as well in 4 Cs for Casey Hunter. So it's the right sort of form to be bringing to the races here this afternoon. She should get a lovely run, just tucked in behind the speed from barrier 4. The gap between runs may be a slight concern for me here today, given she is a month between outings, but she has shown enough to suggest she can give this a shake.
The 9 is Prophet Steel, David Smith and Lucy Fury.
I like this horse. She's got plenty of ability, but her barrier manners have proven costly this time around. She's missed the kick pretty badly in both runs. She's worked home super on both occasions as well. She ran third behind Bang for Buck over the 1,400 metres, third behind a lot of fighting over the mile after missing the kick really badly early doors. Big jockey change today, Lucy Fury jumping on board, but the mile back to the 1,300 metres, given she's likely to find herself last in running with the way that she has been stepping, is probably the main query for mine.
And the 10 having race debut today, Black Silla, Kerry Martin and Lisa Staples.
Just struggled in both recent trials over distance and has drawn very wide for her debut as well here this afternoon. Tess, not for me.
Taking a quick look at the market, Saint Equality remains a favourite, however is drifting, opened at $1.70, now out to $2.75 on the Tab Touch market. Prophet Steel, there's been a bit of support here, $4 into $3.10. I Can Do It On My Own, ran second last start here. Hoping to go one better today, $9 into $4.40, now back out to $5. Quick Cookie, $10, and double figures the rest. Riley, how are we seeing things play out in the second?
I went 7, 4, 8 and 9 here, Tess. Went with 7, I Can Do It On My Own on top, who I thought could give a bit of cheek if she can find the front from that low draw. She was able to sustain a good gallop last start. She did make an early move and toughed it out well to the line late over 1,400 metres. I think being the fact that she's back to 1,300 metres today is going to be in her favour, and thought she could give a bit of cheek at an each-way price. The each-way has since vanished. There has been some good support for her in the market, so she's currently $5 with Tab Touch, and I thought that's still probably value enough to have her on top. So 7 on top for me. From the 4 in Saint Equality, best horse in the race, no doubt about that, but the mile back to the 1,300 metres is just a bit of a query for mine, and he's not the easiest of horses to ride, so I'm not sure where he lands in running from the barrier that he's drawn, but he did step a lot better last start, and I would anticipate that if he does begin cleanly, they'll be happy to stride forward and try and ride him like the best horse in the race and keep him out of any potential trouble. The 8 Quick Cookie comes through a pretty strong form reference race last start at Albany despite the beaten margin. Should get a lovely run tucked in behind the speed from barrier 4. My only slight concern with her is the gap between runs. She gets here today off a month, but the first 2 horses home in that race that she met last start are both well and truly above average in Puro, who won so impressively at that final Albany meeting of the season, and also 4 Cs, who was able to win at that same meeting. And the 9, Profit Steal, who has been very well supported. Big jockey change this afternoon with Lucy Fiore jumping on board, but is dropping pretty sharply back in distance for a horse that hasn't been able to step cleanly from the barriers and is likely to settle right out the back in running from a wide draw. 7, 4, 8 and 9, my numbers here, Tess, in race number 2. Thinking that I Can Do It on my own under Zephyr Johnston Porter can find the front and give a little bit of cheek at an each way price.
7, 4, 8 and 9 for Riley as we hand you upstairs now to Matt McDermott to call us home. 7, I Can Do It on my own on top.
Thank you, Tess. 275 St. Equality, 330 Profit Steal, $5 I Can Do It on my own. New rider Zephyr Johnston Porter, and double figures for the remainder. John Lugg, 76th birthday maiden over the 1300. Black Silla will have the barriers filled. Thanks, Stu. Race 2. Second leg of the first quaddie. And Black Silla and Queen of Chaos, I think, there behind the van. As Black Silla goes up. First starter with Lisa Staples. And they're all in. Light blinks away. And racing, and Profit Steal has missed it badly, 3 or 4 lengths away at the start of the field. King of France and Quick Cookie were away well, signed the papers between them. Black Silla wider out, drifting back. I Can Do It on my own in the centre. Bosme Bubba on the inside, then Queen of Chaos, a whim away further out. St. Equality is second last. Profit Steal joins it at the end of the field. 8:50 to go, and the leader is King of France, has taken it up by about a length or so. Black Silla works up again. Doing work on the outside, getting into second. Quick Cookies over on the rail. Sign the papers as fourth. Then Queen of Chaos, a weem away, deeper out. I Can Do It on my own. Bosma Bubba's about third and fourth last. And Profit Steal and St. Equality at the end, about 8 or so from the lead. So inside the 600 now, heading towards the home turn with King of France, leading by 2.5. Sign the papers, goes up on the outside of Quick Cookie. Further back then, Bosme Bubba on the rail from Black Silla, dropping off now. Passed by I Can Do It on my own, the outside. Queen of Chaos, a weem away. Profit Steal, the deepest into the straight. St. Equality is back in between horses, looking for a run. But meantime, at the 150, it's King of France in front. Quick Cookie's giving chase at the 100. It's still King of France. Quick Cookie, though, looming on the outside, went up and hit the lead. And Quick Cookie comes away to beat King of France. Photo third, I Can Do It on my own and sign the papers. About 2 away to St. Equality's finish midfield. From Profit Steal, a weem away. Queen of Chaos, Bosme Bubba, and Black Silla dropped out to the tail. So Quick Cookie number 8, Victoria Corver for trainer Ryan Hill, has reeled in King of France, who worked up and went to the lead and put a little mid-race break on them. But Quick Cookie, who settled just in behind the pace, came one off into the straight and has hauled in King of France. And third goes I Can Do It on my own, number 7. Sign the papers in fourth. Stablemate to the winner. 8, 2, 7, 5 are the interim numbers. 8, 2, 7 and 5 the interim placing. Fifth, St. Equality, who was well back. He was bumping his way through between traffic when turning for home. And in sixth placing, Profit Steal. She missed the start badly, gave them 3 or 4 at the beginning, and has passed some horses into the straight to finish 6th. 1 length, 2 1/4 the margin. 1 length by 2 1/4. 1:18.15 the time. 1:18.15. Winner number 8, and that is Quick Cookie. Vic Corver for Ryan Hill. The filly is by Gingerbread Man, and Out of Fleeting Image, raced by R. Hill and M. Wilson. And 7 starts for the filly to get off the mark with her first win after a couple of minors. King of France hauled in late. Chris Nicol, he win in the first and second in the second. Runner-up prepared by Brock Luthwaite. The gelding is a 4-year-old by Bondi out of Fontainebleau. And D. Martin, D. Norrish owning. And 7 back in third. I Can Do It on my own. Zephyr Johnston Porter for Brett Jury in 4th to 5. Sign the papers, ridden by Troy Turner for winning trainer Ryan Hill. So the place getters are coming back with 1 length and 1:18.15. The winner to pay 10.20 and 20 on the tote. Quick Cookie down to Tessa now in the yard after the John Lugg 76th birthday maiden.
Thanks, Matt. It wouldn't be a winning race meet without Ian Gladding coming here. Congratulations, Ian. You saddle up for Ryan Hill. Makes the trip well worth it.
Yeah, nice to get that one over the line. We thought the first one might go a little bit better than it did, but this one's got the job done today. Nice ride by Vicky. She's riding very well at the moment, actually, Vicky. A little bit underrated as far as jockeys go.
Absolutely. She rode an absolute treat in transit. Just super cool, calm and collected. Didn't worry at all. And then chased down the leader really nicely. Do you think potentially, obviously, we'll have to chat to Ryan, but could step out over a bit more ground? 1300 seemed no issue today.
Yeah, the way it raced today, it'll get over a bit further. It's quite a big striding horse, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it over a bit longer in the future.
Great association, obviously, Victoria and Ryan, their combination, and you on the road for them as well. Where to next?
Next, Star and Garter for the classic Kalgoorlie dish, skimpy and steak.
Well, there's no ice cream today. It's a bit too cold for you, so enjoy that and enjoy the trip home.
Okay, thanks.
There's Ian Gladding representing Ryan Hill, and here's Vic Corver.
Catching up with Vic Corver after the victory there of Quick Cookie. Vic, she was certainly made to earn it late when King of France really kicked clear at the top of the straight, but given she was a month between runs getting to the races today, she toughed it out really well.
Yeah, she did. Ryan and Mick have always had a good opinion of her. They got her quite cheap at the winner's sale, but she's really matured into a nice horse, and we've sort of tested her over the miles, so I was happy to follow a speed horse and get a nice run.
The month between runs, was there potentially a slight hiccup after her last start, or was that a planned break for her?
No plan. She suffered quite a bit of interference in that run, and it was more of a mental break for her. She's quite immature and very big, so it took her a bit of time, and it's been quite a team effort to get a team to Kalgoorlie, with Ian obviously bringing them and Ryan staying home to keep it ticking over, so it's been good.
Ian just gave the impression then with his comments that the impression from the team is that she might get better as she gets out over a little bit further. Is that the way you feel as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, she's still quite mature, so we'll just take it one run at a time. But when you have the winning strapper, Christopher Ashley, it's hard not to win.
Great ride. Well done on the win.
Thank you.
There's Vic Corver riding in some fantastic form as of recent, combines with partner Ryan Hill, and Quick Cookie taking out the John Lugg 76th birthday maiden, wishing John a very happy birthday once again over the 1300 metres. Big effort from King of France running second as well. I can do it on my own in for third, and sign the papers, Quick Cookie stablemate in for fourth.